Hello. I have received a couple of invitations today. One was to pick up the uh, video, making videos again, to try that again. And then the other one was to address the idea of the event directly again. I usually don't talk too much about it. Mostly, I have a blog, and I'll put the link down below. It's also on my channel page. Mostly, what I receive information about, messages about, usually daily, published when I get around to developing those messages, but usually daily, is about the energy of oneness and living within that and reconciling the conflict we can experience here with the reality of the oneness and the light and the love that we all are. So that's my usual topic. Every subtopic I have is centered around that. But once in a while, I have a nudge to address the event directly. And so today I have a topic. It's cause and effect, but I'm also feeling that same nudge to talk about the event in some way. I always start with a topic and maybe an idea, but I never know where it's going to go. So we'll just see where we're going. Um, the idea that you can find in A Course in Miracles, for example, is that cause and effect are one. So if you resonate with the idea of oneness or living from oneness, you can invite yourself to see that what we consider to be successive, oh, here comes the word event, successive events, um, causes and effects are one. And if you go to the place where they're unified, it's a place that's beyond time. An obvious place to think about this would be maybe in meditation, or maybe even in your dream state, a place where you feel unaffected by conflict, or if not free, if not completely free, then let's talk about relative freedom and start there. So it's a place, or it's a state, it's your true state, your true identity, where what you are is not subject to anything. But then if you branch out into the idea of cause and effect, and you watch your thoughts around the issues of cause and effect in your daily life, maybe you tend to make predictions about if this event happens, that event is sure to follow. If it feels negative or tense, that is a pattern you can invite yourself, or I'm actively inviting myself in my daily life. When I notice those cause and effect patterns, I'm actively inviting myself to release them. And because all our minds, we're touching all other minds, that plays a part in what comes next. There's always this playful back and forth between the energies that I hear from. Um, I feel like a translator sometimes because they come from a place of not being affected by time. And we're here in this experience of believing in time. Time feels like a very real thing. Of course it does. We have our clocks and we have our memories and we have our future projections, and we have so many things that prove to us that time is a reality for us. But what I'm invited to every day is the idea that time is a collective belief in which we all participate, and cause and effect are the same thing. So anything that we experience collectively, and predictably together is belief-based and thought-based. And all is the result of mind, shared mind, one mind. Not one mind in a creepy way. not not individual minds being taken over and forced into some sort of one subservient mind. One mind in the sense that that's all we have ever been. We have always been joined. And there's always been a level of interaction amongst our respective beings that is harmonic, even if it doesn't appear so in this world. Every person you see is, you can think of it as a powerful being of light standing behind that person who is the true being that is expressing in a particular way through that person. So how am I going to tie this in with cause and effect and the event? With the event, there's anticipation and the idea of personal responsibility in advance of what's going to happen. What's going to happen by collective invitation, because there is a general and massive willingness to bring healing to our collective experience, to accept that, and to help others access that healing. So there's a sense of personal responsibility as we approach this time about keeping our slate clean, watching our thoughts, and just opening up to more expansiveness, newer and newer and newer levels of experience in order to be as helpful as we can be. So we're on that trajectory. There is an idea about maybe purity that it's tied in with the sense of worthiness or achievement or needing to, or there's like an urgency factor there that can impede flow. If we believe that we must become worthy by cleaning up our thoughts, there's that cause and effect. We believe that there is a cause and effect that we, on the ego level, on the level of separate self needing to make itself worthy, we need to make that happen. So we can invite ourselves instead to the place where cause and effect are one and where identity is one. And that's as simple as just taking a breath, letting it go. If that becomes something very simple like that, just becomes a symbol of remembrance and settling down into who and what you are, which is exactly who and what everybody else is and always has been, then we are in that space that makes us the most helpful to everybody around us. Who am I talking to right now? I'm thinking about who I'm addressing. I'm addressing people who are preparing for something and hearing, okay, there's no question about that. But you don't make a big deal about putting your shoes on before you walk out the door. It's something you believe you have control over, like, yep, I'm going to get those shoes on. They're going to be on my feet. I'm going to walk out the door. It's nothing that you don't wake up every morning worrying about if you're going to get your shoes on your feet or not. Or if you do for some unique reason, pick something you don't worry about. That's what I'm being shown about this. When we just stop to remember who and what we are collectively, yes, it's good. It's good to pay attention to thoughts, and it's good to do what you feel invited to do, to that feels good, that resonates with you. But it's never because you have to become good enough or worthy enough or elevated enough. You don't have to pursue an effect to convince yourself that you're worthy of bringing healing to the world, because you are that healing right now. So watching our thoughts is helpful because we know when we become confused. But negative thinking is not bad. And noticing the negative thought in others around us is not bad. The way it's been taught to us before is that there's a cause and effect there. If you think negative thoughts, then something terrible is sure to happen. But can you feel the fear even there, even there? You become afraid to think negative thoughts. And then when you become afraid to think negative thoughts and you become judgmental of negative thinking, you might become afraid of the negative thoughts or the negative thinking you think you can see in others. It becomes a little circle, and I'm being encouraged to laugh at it, and to take it easy, and to know that the sun comes up every morning and the sun sets every night, and there's so much stability here in our experience, so much support, and it is, the words topsy-turvy come into my mind, like, yeah, we will experience fluctuation in our lives, and but we don't have to attain some mystical height of purity in order to earn whatever we think is coming. So if we have any thoughts, patterns, or ideas about that, we don't have to release them because they're bad. We can just see, oh, that doesn't make any sense for me anymore, because I know purity is collective and worthiness is collective, and being loved and supported is collective. It's all collective. So if we catch ourselves worrying about causes and effects, or looking at others and thinking about the causes and effects that are likely for them, I'm being encouraged to just share, return home, return home. Home is just in that breath, just in that moment of, I remember, I remember, I'm okay. There's, even through all the fluctuation of the drama of this lifetime, or whatever lifetime you recall that seems to hold most drama for you, or whatever world situation seems to hold most drama for you, I'm just being encouraged to recall that it's all been experienced, and we've gone to the outer reaches of experience to have experience and to appreciate what we are on our return home. So after all this experience, we've had all this confusion about thinking we, as separate, cut off, vulnerable individuals who are destined to be in conflict with one another, thinking that we have to pursue effects and make effects happen. Just, there's a lot of encouragement to let go and to remember and to know that divine will comes into play here. There is only one of us, not in a creepy way, not having lost our selfhood, because We're beautifully differentiated if you think of all the flowers in the garden. But nothing in the world of experience could ever change our oneness. So I'm just being encouraged to go back, go back to that, go back to that. If the suggestion of urgency, fear, needing to produce an effect comes up, and then the event. Well, I think I've been talking about that all along. All this is related to that. We are collectively inviting in and participating in a mass healing of perception. So the best way to bring that online and to flow with it is through appreciation of everything around us, of every circumstance that happens, remembering that it's always for us. And it is thrilling to experience the expansiveness of a perception that's opening if you're having some of those experiences. But if you're not, there's still everything to, there are very, very subtle levels of expansion, or very subtle experiences of expansion that you may not even be appreciating. I feel like I'm talking slowly. Um, this energy is like, stop, appreciate, all is well. If the guy next to you learns tomorrow how to manipulate objects and make them float across the room, that's great. That's fine. But it doesn't mean you have to learn it. Maybe you will. Maybe anything you want to learn, you will. You will. At the perfect moment for you. But, okay, what I'm clearly hearing is, don't be distracted by special effects. What's in our hearts and the way we feel is our greatest indicator. And when it's all churned up, when the way we feel we think is not good enough, not reflective of the happiness we want to bring online for everybody, or everything feels disturbed, it's good, because you're facing something from the past that you have not allowed yourself to fully feel before. But in the moment you're feeling it, you're allowing it, and allowing it is a great service to others. So if you're able to allow the feeling without blaming or reacting, and I do react. I'm a parent. So every day I have moments where I will judge myself and say, I reacted. I didn't just receive it, let myself feel it, let it go, move on. But you know what? There are plenty of moments when I do. I do let it come up. I do feel, I do release it. And when we do that, we're doing a service for everybody. So the very important thing is not chasing effects. But if there are effects you love, then enjoy them. It's springtime here where I live, and enjoy it, where like you enjoy the leaves coming out in the trees and the flowers blooming, and everybody will bloom in exactly the right way at exactly the right time. So there's no effect you need to prove or chase or make happen. The very best thing you can do is allow yourself to feel, and to invite yourself to set down reactivity as you're feeling. If you react, instant forgiveness, instant forgiveness, and just appreciate the fact that you are moving through this process mindfully and in service to others. is very, very, very simple. What we can do for each other, it's always so very simple. And if there are wonderful, entertaining, beautiful special effects, if you see a rainbow cloud or if you develop a new ability, enjoy it. Enjoy it. But it's also not necessary. So there's so much to enjoy and appreciate just right now, just exactly where you are. I think that's the heart of it. Thanks.